He was a Jamaican gospel artist on the rise with not just popular songs, but with a testimony of from criminality to salvation. His life in Christianity lasted only 12 years, but it was 12 years in which he made a positive impact in the music industry through his gospel songs. I speak of the one and only Moses. In this video, I look briefly at the life, career, and tragic death of gospel artist Moses, also called DJ Moses, and I take you on a visit to his grave. I am Nigel D. Salmon. Welcome to Jamaican Chapter. DJ Moses was born Kasim Grant on Saturday, November 29, 1980, to mother Andrea McLaren and father Michael Grant. He grew up in Wilton Gardens, popularly called Rema. When he was a little boy, his father, Michael Grant, said to be a gangster, was shot dead by police. Fatherless with not much protection and seeing some of his friends killed by gunmen, the young Kasim Grant, just a teenager, acquired an illegal gun for self-defense in the volatile community. According to his own testimony, he engaged in shootouts with enemy gunmen and even the police. But life in criminality for the young Kasim Grant took a sudden U-turn when he was age 16. In the early morning of Sunday, May 3, 1997, while he was sleeping, a gunman kicked open the door. The sounds of the kicked open door, followed by the voice of his mother begging the gunman not to shoot, woke him out of his sleep. He rushed to his mother's room. Sadly, Kasim did not have his own gun that morning because he had given it to his friend to keep. The gunman turned to the defenseless Kasim, shooting him 3 times. 1 shot to the head, 1 to the chest, and when he fell, he was shot in the bottom. Thinking that he had killed Kasim, the gunman fled the house. Kasim's mother, Andrea, got help and rushed him to the hospital. At the hospital, inside the operating theater, Kasim had an out-of-body experience that he later told to the world through a song and in several interviews. He said while the doctors were operating on him, his soul left his body and floated. And from that floating experience, he watched the doctor work on his body to save him. And thankfully, he survived. The near-death experience and the out-of-body experience triggered a conscious thinking in Kasim. A conscious thinking that crime does not positively pay. That same year, 1997, he turned to a safer life, a life with God. But Kasim Grant did not just want to become a church-going, bench-warming Christian. He wanted to have a personal ministry. That is, a means by which he could reach thousands of non-Christian people, particularly young people, and get them to turn from wrongdoings. The best means he felt he could do this was through songs. So he started his gospel recording career with a stage name, a name very familiar to everyone who knows the Bible. That name, Moses. In his personal life, Kasim married a young woman called Ramona, and he fathered a son called Kevon Grant, his only child. Throughout his music career, DJ Moses recorded several popular songs, including Salvation Story, One God, Big Him Up, and When the Thunder Roll. He appeared in different media interviews, such as Religious Hard Talk with Ian Bowen and On Stage with Winford Williams. He performed at various live events in front of thousands of people and headed major gospel shows such as Exodus and Genesis. He shared live shows with gospel artists such as DJ Nicholas, Ryan Marks, Gotti Gotti, Carlene Davis, and Judith Gale. Everything appeared to be going fine for the devoted father, husband, church brother, preacher, and gospel recording artist until Monday, January 26th of 2009. On that day, a dispute developed between Moses and his uncle, his uncle's wife, and another man who had intervened. A struggle ensued and DJ Moses fired shots from a gun, hurting the man who had intervened. He fled the scene in his car and the police was called. For the rest of that Monday evening, DJ Moses' wife, his mother, and close friends had no knowledge where he was. The police began searching for him regarding the gunfiring incident, and covertly, close associates of those he struggled with were also looking for him for revenge. So who got to Moses first? Because around sunrise the following morning, Tuesday, January 27, 2009, the body of DJ Moses was seen lying in a ravine near the Garden Town Bridge, bleeding from the nose and the mouth. At just age 28, Kasim Grant, aka Moses, is dead. I am here in St. Catherine, and as you can already see I am at Dovecot Memorial Park. Dovecot Memorial Park and Crematory here in St. Catherine. It is a Saturday, and since I've been doing my YouTube videos, I noticed that on a Saturday, whenever you go to Meadowrest or Dovecot, you'll be seeing a lot of funerals. And you can see a hearse just past there going into the cemetery. Well, I don't know anyone who's burying today, But as you have seen in the story so far, you know exactly where I'm going. I am heading to the burial place, the resting place of Kazim Grant, aka DJ Moses. It's a busy day here. Many cars are going in. All right, so obviously DJ Moses he lost his life. And when he died, there was controversy. There were people who were saying that he was murdered. And there are people who said that he jumped. So the big question is, and I use the word is deliberately, the big question is, and look at this sign, it says, Happy Mother's Day to all moms in heaven. Isn't that beautiful? People take the time out to say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms who are buried over here. Anyway, back to the story. So, the big question is, was DJ Moses murdered, or did he commit suicide? When his body was found over in the ravine near to the Garden Town Bridge, that was the big question. Was he murdered, or did he actually jump? The situation that he was dealing with, it gives rise to any of those. It gives rise to suicide. It gives rise to murder. And we look more at that as I talk about the circumstances that led to his death. So, how did it all started? Well, according to CVM television at the time, the reporter from CVM television said that it started from an event that was held. And I'm going to show you a poster of that event. Yes, that poster you're looking at on the screen. And what happened was that, according to the reporter, there was a vendor, who some money was owed to, and a car was used to settle the debt. And it's not clear what transpired, but it began from there. So after the event, that big concert where he performed and everything, some kind of money was owed. I'm not sure. I can't tell you because I didn't get the full detail. But it started from there. And so, on that morning that he got the call, according to his mother, and he went out there was a conflict between DJ Moses and his uncle, and his uncle wife got involved, and another man got involved. I think that DJ Moses must have felt outnumbered, so he pulled his gun. Yes, he had a gun. Some said he was a licensed firearm holder. Others said the gun was illegal. But in any case, he pulled the gun, and I believe in defense of himself, some shots were fired. The uncle was not shot, but the other man received, I think, bullet wound to a finger or something like that. And of course, DJ Moses, he fled the scene. He fled the scene, and this is where I believe suicide or murder was behind his killing, his death, behind his death. Because at this point, when he fired the shots and somebody was wounded, a lot of things happened. He was at a point now where he was afraid for his life. And maybe because of the whole mess, he could have went and jumped into the ravine. And then you can look at it from a different angle, that because he fired the shot and injured the man, there was a lot of anger, and maybe one or more men, went in search of him and threw him over the bridge, threw him over into the ravine. I'm just gonna say over the bridge. It was near to the Garden Town Bridge. I can see there are a lot of vehicles here because there's a burial going on right now. Many cars. If you've seen in a lot of my videos, you notice that there aren't that many vehicles. Well, a big burial going on right now. I'm not sure who died, but there's a big burial happening right now. All right, so from my personal opinion, I don't think that DJ Moses committed suicide. I don't believe that. I believe there were a lot of anger. He fired and he shot the man. His uncle's wife was also there, escaped injury. So there are a lot of anger towards him. I believe he fled the scene, and there are some men who went in search for him. Some men went in search for him. And some way or somehow, they ended up at that location near the Garden Town Bridge. And I believe in anger, they threw him over that bridge. Why do I say that?
Our news team observed these scratch marks near the body. The police are not sure whether they are evidence of a struggle. The account of the incident contained in the CCN statement came from people who claimed to have observed the altercation. Police are trying to find out whether the story is true. They are now investigating whether Moses may have jumped to his death or someone pushed him.
If you look at it closely, you can see it looks as if somebody was being thrown over and they grabbed onto it, held on onto it. But They were pushed. I think that's what happened. If you look at DJ Moses' life, he was optimistic. He loved life. He had a wife. He had a son. I don't think that's simple incident where he just, a simple incident as that where he fired some shot. I don't think he would go and jump over and kill himself. I don't believe that. I prefer to believe the second opinion or whatever it is about what happened. He was thrown over there. And the thing about Jamaica is that you really don't get people willing to talk. You don't get people willing to talk when it comes to crime. Really, you don't. And maybe that's why his death is left unsolved until this very day. I'm here and I'm listening to a lot of music up at that burial ground. Before taking you to Moses' burial spot, let me join in a little and hear what's going on up here, and then we get back to what you're doing. I've never seen a funeral so lively. Over here, there's a lot of music playing. There's some young people dancing. So I decide that I'm gonna find out. My curious side get the better of me. And so
weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in time of trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. I am the resurrection and the life, says the Lord. He who believes in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die. The eternal God is our refuge, and underneath are the everlasting life. Everlasting life. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. leadeth me in the paths of righteousness. For his name will yea, sustain you. Cast your cares upon him, for he cares for you. For as much as it will please Almighty God to take unto himself the soul of our dear sister departed, we now commit her body to be buried to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, and dust to dust, in sure and certain hope of the resurrection. Now as the workmen continue, we will sing from the program, There's a Land That Is Fairer Than Thee.
There's a land that is fairer than this, and by faith we can see the path, for the Father will go the way, to share us together in the spirit.
All right, so this was a funeral of an elderly lady. Typical scene, well, what you would expect to see in a cemeteries. So let's continue our story. All right, so continuing our story. So family members believe that DJ Moses was murdered. The government, what do you call it, pathologist, did their thing on his body, what do you call it, autopsy, and concluded that his death is consistent with a fall. That means to say it's likely that he fell over there in the bridge. But when the government pathologist concluded with that, the family did not want to believe it. So they ordered for an independent pathologist to examine DJ Moses' body to come up with a conclusion that they feel would be satisfactory to them. And so, yeah, okay. All right, so they did that. So whatever you want to call it, it's still a controversial, debatable topic. The question as to whether the artist was killed, or whether he jumped over the bridge is still an open question. And many wondered, some people say, did he really change from his gunman lifestyle? But you have to understand that anybody can get angry. Anybody can. The fact that he pulled a gun does not mean that he wasn't a Christian. Christian will take up a stone and fling it in temper. Things happen. Well, in any case, his funeral had to take place, and the funeral took place on February 21, of 2009. And it's a big, huge cemetery, and this is the spot that he was buried. So this is the grave of Kazim Grant, aka Moses, here at Dovecot Memorial Park. And it says, Kazim Grant, Moses, you will always be in our hearts. We loved and miss you. November 29, 1980 to January 26, 2009. He was young. He was just 28 years old. Just 28 years old. He has been through a lot, you know, and many individuals say, but, you know, why did he turn to taking up the gun? Let me tell you, when you're living in a volatile place, you can't say to yourself, oh, you know, I'm going to use peace to survive. I'm going to use kindness to survive. I'm going to use love to survive. No, that doesn't happen. That's in your imagination. He said it in his songs and his interviews. He said it. He picked up the gun to defend himself, to protect himself and his family. So, you know, that was his story. And sadly, of course, he ended tragically. So this is the resting place of DJ Moses. Alright guys, so this has been the story of Kazim Grant, aka DJ Moses, and I'm here showing my homage to the man who brought gospel music to the young youths in the inner city communities. Something that you haven't seen with much gospel artists. They prefer to sing in a safe place, but he went out and he brought gospel music to the inner city youths because he knew them. He knew their lives and he understood, you know, their struggles. So here is the resting place of the man, DJ Moses. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, subscribe for more interesting videos like this.